Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Gentlemen, first of all, thank you for your service to our country. And I have to admit, I like seeing options in the budget. I like seeing alternatives. It doesn't mean that everything that's on the budget is necessarily going to be funded by or recommended by this committee, but to see the other options out there, from my perspective, I appreciate seeing those others that sometimes may not make it all the way through the budget process. General Fenton, SOCOM has undoubtedly been reorienting from counterterrorism to preparation for a high-end, near-peer fight. Assume a situation in which we had to respond under Article 5 and support our NATO allies in Europe, and China concurrently took military action to claim Taiwan. What do you assess would be SOCOM's capability to support a two-theater war concurrently in Europe and the Pacific?
Senator, what I can tell you now is that your special operations team is already globally deployed, 5,000 personnel in 80 different countries, at combatant command request and at times at departmental request. Our ability to address the integrated deterrence piece, crisis response and counterterrorism, we are absolutely able to do all that. We're able to do the front end competition, integrated deterrence with training, building capability, partners and allies. And at the same time, we're also ready to prepare an environment for the joint force and prevail in conflict.
I think what I'm really trying to get at is it seems as though our policy here is not necessarily to win in two theaters, and yet everything that we can do to be in a position to give the young men and women on the front lines every opportunity, we should be talking about now before it ever happens. And I just, with regard to a budget which you will prepare and bring in and lay out, would it be fair to say that there are other items that could be done in the very near future that could help us do a better job of preparing for a two-front defensive capacity?
Senator, I stayed focused daily on readiness and training and providing the President and the Secretary a range of options for whatever conditions they may put in front of us. As you described, in some level of potential two-front, or we stay trained and ready to provide options across a number of contingencies that the Department has asked us to plan for, along with the combatant commands. At the same time, also providing dilemmas for the adversaries, both either in integrated deterrence or in high-end conflict.
Thank you. General Nakasone, as we all know, the Cyber Mission Force comprises elements provided by all of the services. Is there anything we should do to better execute this construct?
Senator, I'll be coming back to the committee under 1502, the NDA section that came out in the recent NDA to talk about the shortfall. So that comes at the end of March. That'll be the first indicator that I'll have to be able to communicate with the committee. I suspect between that and section 1534, which requires me to come back at the end of June with the Secretary and the Chairman to talk about shortfalls and readiness, we'll be able to outline exactly what we think are the areas. There are some, and there are areas that we can work with the services to improve.
Thank you. Also, General, last year we discussed the benefit of NSPM 13 and NSPM 21 and what they provided the command to effectively conduct cyber operations, recognizing that they're both classified in nature, but basically they have streamlined and lay out a collaborative effort in which to provide accelerated timeframes for cyber operations. As you look over the years since, what, if anything, has changed in your assessment on the impact they have had on cyber operations?
Senator, really very little impact. If I can rewind the clock just a bit, 2018, as you recall, is you assisted with us to make sure that within the NDAA that we saw cyber as a traditional military activity. That was a huge step forward for us. I would also say that the policy memorandums that you talked about there, they're foundational for what we do in a manner that is much more predictable, both for ourselves and for policymakers. So we continue to work with it. We are continuing to move forward.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.